school evacuations, floods, and we've done communication tree drills. As CERT teams, we are the eyes and the ears of the authorities. There were a couple of times when I was activated to serve at the command center for the city, and I would not leave the command center for over a 24-hour period. And I had no idea what was going on outside of the command center. And I really understood at that point how important the CERT teams are for searching your neighborhoods as quickly as you can, get the information up the chain of command of what your needs are, so that we can then send the help. In the beginning, there would be this huge lag time of, why isn't anyone calling us? Why? We know there's needs. Why do we not have anything? But it's because our CERT teams were gathering their information and were then sending it up. Well, then the tables were turned, and the CERT teams were very anxious for our reply, but we were still at the gathering information stage. And so I learned that there's always that lag time. There will always be the lag time, but where it is just depends on where you're at. But I also could understand why CERT is so important. I also believe in checking on your home teaching and visiting teaching families, but it's not as, what's the word I'm looking for? Thank you. It's not as efficient as checking the 5 houses right around you and sending it up the chain of command. This is how the past 3 years of my life has been. So in 2009, there was a Harriman flooding. 2010, there was Mill Creek flooding. 2010, Harriman flooding again. 2010, we had the machine gun fire. 2011 was a great year for me. 2012, Rosecrest fire. 2012 was the Pinon fire. 2012, we had the missing man in Mill Creek. And 2013, we had the missing girl in Harriman. We were activated 6 out of 8 of those times. So it works, and people practice. We're very fortunate to have a relationship with Mill Creek where they know that we're trained and we know that they're trained. And so when we need each other, we know we can call each other and we will send out trained people who can help with the situation. So that's how things have been for us out in Harriman. It's been, if you are bored, move to Harriman. You will not be bored. Okay. So in all of these activations, I started noticing that there were a lot of similar things irrelevant to the situation. And so I thought tonight, this is how I would shake things up. So we're going to talk about the things that I noticed in all of the situations. It doesn't matter what the emergency, these were the things that I felt were always present in the situation. So first, safety. Nothing else matters unless you're safe. It was interesting with the fires, you would leave everything behind to make sure that you were safe. So first has always been safety. Check your surroundings, make sure you're in a safe area. If in doubt, head out. There were so many people during the fires that wanted to leave because they didn't feel well or they just had unrest about the situation, but they felt like they needed to be coached into evacuating. That's not the case. If you are concerned, don't have a good feeling, leave. You are always able to do that. Once you and your family are safe, help somebody else, because there's always going to be someone who hasn't prepared, and you will be a lifesaver. Number 2, physical needs always come next. So, there's always the person who didn't have a 72-hour bag, or has an immediate need of, I need food now, or a diabetic who has forgotten their insulin. There's always someone who has an immediate physical need. So for food, the things that I would suggest and that I have noticed is that, number 1, you're always going to need more food than you think. Because when you're stressed out, your body burns calories a lot quicker, so you will be hungry in an emergency. Number 2, your food storage is worthless if your children will not eat it. So start thinking, there is not a set plan for what my food storage needs to be. Think of your families. You have the gift of the Spirit, and you have the ability to know what is the right thing for your family. Pray. Inspiration will come, and you will know the best things to prepare for your family. The other thing to think about is, I know that food storage can seem like a ginormous elephant that we're all going to choke on. But the purpose of food storage, it is supposed to take you a long time, because you can't buy it all and eat it all within the time that it's going to be good. Food storage is supposed to take you a long time. It's a journey, not a destination. You will always have to work on your food storage. The standard recommendations for food, I love this. If you were to only store what they say you should store for one person in your family, this is what I will feed you: 1 loaf of bread and 1/3 cup of beans. If that's what you would like to live on for a year, then only store the basic requirements. But if you would like to have fruits and vegetables in your diet, plan on it. 72-hour packs. Again, let me tell you how many times we have requested 72-hour packs. In all of the situations, whether it was searching for someone, when I had to go on the search in Mill Creek, I took my 72-hour pack with me, and we went door to door, searching the areas, and I was starving. So I opened up my 72-hour pack, grabbed myself some food, and then I was ready to go. But there were some people that didn't plan. Some came in their church attire because it was on a Sunday, because emergencies always happen on Sunday. And they showed up in their church clothes, and they were freezing to death trying to help in this search. Well, it was fantastic that they were willing to come, but it wasn't very productive, because then they had to leave their shift early, and then that left that group without a person. Okay, water. A couple of cases of water from Costco does not count as water storage. You're going to need a little more than that. So the recommendation is 1 gallon of water per person per day for 2 weeks. So for a family of 6, that is 84 gallons, and that will last you 2 weeks. That is only for drinking and for washing your hands, cleaning yourself, that kind of stuff. Because food storage is getting more everywhere, and it's all freeze-dried, here's my 2 bits on it. You need extra water to reconstitute your food, or it will make you very sick. So if that is your plan for your food storage, which is just fine, make sure that you have enough water to reconstitute your food, along with the 1 gallon of water that you need per day per person. So you might need 16 blue water barrels in your backyard. Okay, fuel. Keep all kinds of fuels on hand. However, each city has its own rules about how much fuel you are allowed to keep on your property. I do not know South Jordan, so you will have to look into that and figure out how much that is. Types of fuel to consider: propane, gasoline, kerosene, firewood, and fire starter. I'll come back. Keep your car's gas tank at least half full. In the Harriman fires, because we have 2 huge roads that come to the entire city, and that's it, there was gridlock on all of the roads, and cars were sitting there for hours at a time. And it became obvious to us that people need to have more than half a tank of gas in their car, especially in the wintertime. If you were to get stranded somewhere and your car is your source of heat, you're going to wish you had a full tank of gas. So just make it a rule: don't wait until it gets to E, fill it up a half tank. If you needed to keep your family warm in this fantastic inversion, how much fuel would it take? If you think about, I grew up in Wyoming, and we have fire-burning stoves. We needed, I would dare say, 7 pickup trucks full of wood to make it through the winter. So if you think about keeping a fire all the time, or if you have a generator that you hook a heater, space heater up, just consider how much it would actually take to keep your family warm. Okay, next we're going to talk about